The multiverse is a pretty big thing, and sometimes there's a lot of things that get you sidetracked, whether you're trying to get some batteries when you really shouldn't be stealing them, or maybe you're just trying to shake off the cobwebs a little bit before you get back in front of a mic. But if you're listening to Earth 894 podcast for the first time, we're happy to have you here. We have a really fun episode to talk about some really cool things that are cosmic, and we're going to rewind and talk about the top 5 moments featuring our favorite Guardians of the Galaxies. A bunch of a-holes who like to kick grass and stand around in circles and steal random limbs, and we all love them. My name is Devin Stone. I'm one of the halves of this show, and we're going to get to another podcast who's actually making the first appearance on our show for the first time today. Before we get there, make sure you are subscribed to us on whatever you're listening to, and check us out at earth894podcast.com. We just really wrapped up our Multiverse of March Madness for the second year in a row, and some cool stuff you can go check out. Now, my homie, who always brings a good old vibrant sunshine to my day. He's always great. He's always having a great time, no matter what's going on. But sometimes he busts out those vibranium claws just a little bit. Or adamantium claws, I meant to say.
Well, everybody, it's been real. We'll see you in another life, I guess, with the vibranium claws.
And that is Louis Tomlin, everybody.
How dare you call them vibranium claws? What does he look like?
He looks like a very, fuzzy gentleman.
He's a good guy, man. How dare you? Oh, my God. You just threw me off my entire groove. I was going to yell into the mic. It was going to be fun. And then you fucked it all up.
Speaking of groove, I just run for my dog because sometimes I feel bad about leaving him when he's anxious in the storms because there's been a bunch in Chicago. I throw on Emperor's New Groove, and I totally forgot everything that happens in that movie because why would I remember it? Still funny, though. Still funny.
Why would I remember it? That is the best Disney movie there is.
Oh, boy.
I was literally just talking to my wife last night about how great that movie is. My 2 favorite lines, since you've asked, number 2 comes in with when Yzma goes, "Alama, he's supposed to be dead." That's hilarious. And also, my favorite line that I use every day is, "I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?" But yeah, Emperor's New Groove, top tier Disney movie. How dare you?
Well, I guess we'll have to do a top 5 Disney movies apparently at some point. Well, I'm sure it's a podcast will go on for that one, but that's what we're not talking about. But I apologize to anyone I may have offended whose favorite Disney movie is The Emperor's New Groove. You can kick me out like that one guy who ruined his groove in the beginning of the movie. See, I remembered something.
Just move on.
Your face says otherwise. So I'm going to move on here and introduce our guest for this episode because they're probably going to regret being on here and ever asking to join our side of the multiverse. I'm kidding, by the way. So for the first time on our show, we have the awesome experience to share with these guys, talking about our favorite moments of the Guardians of the Galaxy across the MCU. It is Messi and Danny from the Unqualified Heroes podcast.
And the crowd goes wild. So once again, thank you for having us on. It's definitely an honor. But my name is Daniel Perez. You can call me Danny.
And I'm Messi Morales. And like Devin said, we are the Unqualified Heroes. And like Danny said, we're glad to be here to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right before we do, I just want to say, for Devin, you get the pass for not remembering everything that happens, but Louis, it's not that top tier movie. It's a great movie, but you're putting it a little too high. You're making it sound like it's this all-time great movie. So I just want to point that out there. It's not that great.
No, Louis got it right. Emperor New Groove is up there. I don't know what other Disney movie you're talking about that's not up there like Emperor New Groove. That's childhood memory right there.
Whatever.
Louis lost for words. He's like,
I'm not here to get shit on my own podcast. That movie is awesome from start to finish.
It is awesome.
It's got David Spade. It's got John Goodman. It's got freaking Patrick Warburton as Kronk. It's a great movie. Eartha Kitt. Just, it's a good movie. Damn it.
I don't know how to transition off of that one. So I'm just going to say this is the part where we like to talk about things that help us warm up a little bit. But I guess we're already there. But let's actually do a little bit of a rewind and make this a little bit more Marvel centric. So, Louis, we're going to talk about our favorite part of the show.
MCU for you.
Oh, Louis, I have a good one, but I'm still going to make you go first. What has been MCU for you?
You always make me go first. I watched no, not Guardians. I watched Black Panther: Wakanda Forever again.
Is it your first time watching it since it's hit streaming?
No.
Gotcha.
No, I've watched it a few times. And yeah. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, but
Spoilers here.
Is that a spoiler?
I think I should just give us a spoiler.
You kind of did.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, now you know. Now you know. Sorry, Marvel. Whoops. That's out.
Queen Ramonda walks into Nakia's school in South America, we'll go with. They say you can see young T'Challa in the school, but he is literally the first person to talk to her. Like, I thought you could see him, so he's just in the background chill. No, he is front and center, talking, doing the whole thing, and I was like, oh, how could we have been so dumb?
Blindsided.
Yeah, there he was. Yeah, but I know you guys probably don't know, but all through since that movie was announced, my thing was it was going to be about like who was going to be the Black Panther. So my thing was T'Challa was going to have a son with Nakia since the like before the blip, and now he's going to be growing up, and then it's like him getting ready to be the Black Panther. Of course, I was wrong, but I wasn't fully wrong. So when we saw the movie in the theater and that part happened with his son at the end, needless to say, I lost my fucking mind. It was awesome. Yeah, I remember them being like, "Oh, you can see him in there." And yeah, sure as shit. He's just like, "Hey, how are you, Grandma?" or whatever the hell he says to her. Other than that, I'm hard at work getting all these damn comic cover Funko Pops. And now it takes up the entirety of this one wall, and then two underneath now. I'm on the hunt for some more, and they're a pain in the ass to
find. How many more are you missing?
Oh,
I have the Hawkeye and Ant-Man, right? Duo that I got you?
Yes.
That's sitting in my room.
Yes. So I have number 1 Stan Lee, which is by himself, and then 1 through 19. I'm not going to name them all, but there's 2 number 10s because one glows in the dark. I have both of them. And I have all of 1 through 19. Number 20 is a Canadian Funko exclusive Wolverine that I'm just certain they haven't announced yet, but I found it on Instagram being a fucking scuzzball because I can't find it anywhere except for eBay for like $85, which is some bullshit. I have contacted Sir Tommy up in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, to try and get me this damn Funko Pop, and he can't find it either, but I'm sure he's not looking as hard. Yeah, he's not looking as hard as I am. But then 21, can you do something for me? 21 is, I think, the Ant-Man one. 22 is another Wolverine. There's 3 Wolverines until I tell you this. There's another one that's a Gwen Stacy. I pre-ordered that one. And then there's another Wolverine they just announced that from Uncanny X-Men 1, I believe. But none of those are out just yet. And then there's a Captain America that hasn't been released yet.
So it's basically a guarantee that you're getting a Wolverine Funko when Deadpool 3 comes out.
Probably. Wolverine's my guy. And they just announced, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, they just announced one that I really, really want. And it's not a comic book cover one, but it's an album cover of the Awesome Mix Volume 1. And it's Star-Lord singing to the rat at the beginning of the movie. I'm going to call it a rat. I don't know the actual name of that alien monster, but want that too. So yeah, now the Funko Pops are coming lower on the wall, and pretty soon my daughter's going to be able to climb up on the couch and just rip them off the wall because she doesn't listen. And that's been MCU for me.
Well, nice, man. Impressive collection, I will say. and hopefully she doesn't rip stuff off the wall because that will be a terrible.
She will.
Well, they grow up so fast, right? I have a cat who is a pain in my butt, but
two completely different things.
Yeah.
But
well, one likes
Don't
they
tell
both
him
like to
that.
stand on their like tiny little legs and swipe at stuff, right? One's just hairier than the other.
That's true.
You know, mine is also missing an eye. So
one's hairier.
there's that.
My daughter has both
Yeah.
eyes for now.
Have you checked? Just make sure. You know, sometimes I don't know. They might be like surprise.
I look at her every day. Actually,
Oh, nice, cool. All right, over to you guys. Let's start with you, Danny. What's been MCU for you, my man?
What's been MCU for me? Well, most of us know what the tragic but uplifting story with Jeremy Renner happened, because it could have been a lot worse. And now he's starting to come out on the red carpet and stuff like that. So I felt inspired to just go back into his work, and I rewatched the Hawkeye show because I'm just into this Jeremy Renner phase, trying to support this man. He just went through a lot. So I was like, all right, let me go back into it. And I'm going to be real. The first time I watched it, when it first came out, I wasn't the biggest fan of Hawkeye. I liked some of the moments that it had with it, more specifically with Yelena and Kate Bishop, but wasn't the biggest fan of it. As I watched back this second time, honestly, I enjoyed it more. I think it's just coming back with that second perspective. Look, whenever you watch a show or a movie, most of the time you're going to hate it you're going to like it less the second time. But when you just get a new perspective on stuff, new lens, and I watched the show, and it was just like, I could see what they were doing. When the first time you're watching, you got these expectations in your head of like how you want it to go, trying to predict what's going to happen in this next episode. But, now that you already know exactly what's going through 1 through 6, and your expectations are not there anymore, you watch the show and you understand it for what it is. And I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot more. Granted, it's not like my top 3 MCU shows, but I liked it a lot more. And I'm just glad Jeremy Renner's getting better. He's out in the public now. He's got his cane. He's posing with it. I mean, he's taking full advantage with it, and I'm just glad he's better. So that's been MCU for me.
Well, what are your top 3 MCU shows?
I don't know if this is controversial, but at least one of them might. It's controversial to Messi, but I got WandaVision.
Okay, starting off strong.
WandaVision, right? Strong one. Then I got Loki, which, another good strong one. And to me, Moon Knight is my favorite one. That's my number one.
Number one.
I thought you were going to say what if, and I was just going to shut the laptop and go back upstairs.
I was waiting for it.
No. Messi thinks Moon Knight's like this garbage show, but to me,
it kind of is. But that's
my favorite show that MCU has come out with. But
okay,
it's not the best show.
Devin, don't you have Moon Knight as your second worst one? Or
yeah, it's not very high. I'm not gonna lie. I've only watched it once. I think it was just a matter of sometimes when you set your expectations so high, and when you finally watch whatever it is, and it doesn't match those expectations, whether they're reasonable or not, it can really sometimes skew your opinion of it. And to me, it's like sometimes I compare it to Eternals, right? Sometimes like I really enjoyed it at first, but every time I think about trying to go and rewatch it, I'm like, I can think of other things I'd rather rewatch before I go to it. Now, I think I still need to give Moon Knight another chance. Now that
you got to give Moon Knight another chance.
Like, it's not a bad show. I mean, granted, it's like a lot of the MCU stuff, right? It's like people shit all over Thor: The Dark World, which I think has been replaced with Eternals. But like, you're talking about something that's like at a C+, which would be almost like an A+ on something completely different. Different movie franchise. So
man.
it's like there's still
Moon
great
Knight's
things.
gonna suck no matter where it's at, dude.
Watch it again, and you'll think how I thought about Hawkeye. That it was kind of bad the first time you watched it, but then it gets better the second time. So I think you'll like it.
I love Hawkeye, man. It's a Christmas show for me, and I fucking love Christmas. So I'm like, Hawkeye was amazing.
Hawkeye's my number 2 show.
Number 2, really?
Loki's my number 1. Hawkeye's my number 2.
That's a respectable number 1. Devin, what was your number 1?
WandaVision, man. I fucking love WandaVision. I don't care how batshit crazy all the speculation got with Mephisto here and there. I love it, man. It's
what
a good
time to be alive when that happened.
It was fun.
day by day, week by week, the speculation that was just going on. I mean, it was unreal.
It was a fun time, man. How about you, Messi? What's your top 3? Let's see your rebuttal.
Okay, when we did the list, we made the list like when She-Hulk came around, and WandaVision was up there. But then I rewatched it again, and WandaVision is not even top 5 for me anymore.
Wow.
What?
Honestly,
I agree. I agree.
It's I watched. Yes, if you say like Devin said earlier, if you went with the expectations of this, then Moon Knight should have been your top 1. Because yet again, everybody went with the same expectations. Oh, Doctor Strange is gonna show up. Mephisto's gonna show up. Something's gonna show up, and didn't meet those expectations. And I think the best episode of that is when episode 5 when Patriot shows up.
That's 5.
Before even he showed up, that was a really good episode. After that, they went downhill. And before that, they were on the floor. So they went down, up. It was not a great show for that. But my favorite shows, I actually like What If.
What?
What If was...
Close the laptop. He's done.
So I'll be taking over for the both of us, and it'll just be us 3 from now on. Messi can get out of this podcast.
There it is. What If?
Let me tell you why. So like Denny said, like when Denny saw Hawkeye wasn't it. I saw What If. I only like one episode. But yet again, it's a different type of story that's not connected to the actual MCU storyline.
The Doctor Strange episode?
That's my favorite episode.
Boring.
That was
boring.
That's the one thing I will always argue against Louis. That episode was probably the best out of What If. It was a good episode. It's dark, man. It's emo as fuck.
I like dark shit. Yeah. I like when the villain wins. I like when the hero does not win. That's my every time a villain wins in the MCU, my favorite project. Civil War, Infinity War. Those are like the best ones. Again, because the villain wins and the people lose. Again, What If? It's up there. I like Loki. Loki's my number 1. There
you go.
The best one for a lot of people.
That's better.
Slight redemption.
We've gotten better.
I forgot where are the shows. I forgot the other shows. I guess those are my 2 points. Everything else sucks.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
The first 2 are all that matters. Everything else is trash. That's funny. That's
one episode of What If, and then Loki are your favorite shows.
No. I like What If. I like the whole series.
Got him.
I like the whole series of What If. It was a pretty good, interesting, different way of telling other stories in animation.
Yeah, it was a good time. I think it redeemed itself towards the end when they show like everything kind of come together, and it got like, I mean, Infinity Ultron with like basically whatever version of Killmonger.
Right,
it was nuts. It was kind of cool. But overall, it was just, I think it's hard to tell what their actual goal with the series was. So hopefully season 2 will be a little bit more cohesive.
It won't. It'll be terrible.
Maybe.
I can't wait.
Probably not going to be cohesive.
I don't know. I thought they would be out by now, but I don't know. There's a lot of, I think we're only going to get Secret Invasion out as the only new series this year at this point, given everything that's going on with Jonathan Majors. It's not looking very good.
It's not. It's very sad to say that. I hope he does not get recast. Like, he's a really cool actor and a cool guy, but as of right now, there's more allegations and they show some stuff that made it worse. And then
I believe the court date is May 9th. So I could be wrong on that, but I believe it's May 9th. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on that day.
It's all shaping up too for, I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest Comic-Cons. We don't have to go too far into this, but this is going to be one of the biggest fucking Comic-Cons in recent years, because now that DC seems to finally be getting their stuff together with, Safran and Gunn. And, it's like having your all-star player now managing your other team, like your biggest competitor. I don't know if you guys watched Ted Lasso, but it's like with Nate going over to West Ham, it's going to be like, you guys really got to both bring it. And Kevin Feige is, probably sweating bullets because a lot of stuff out of his control too. And I would hate, if that man wasn't already bald, I mean, I feel like he'd have no hairs on his head right now with how stressed he must be with like everything since COVID. Hopefully it's going to be good. But either way, as fans, we're just going to keep eating whatever they're cooking up. So
we're just going to keep eating, but also keep complaining.
Yeah. And that's
a double-edged sword.
That's bring it back to you, Louis, with The Lion King. It's a circle of life. Awesome, man. Did we finish? Yeah, I don't even know. Messi, did we even get to
No,
with MCU
no,
for you?
Messi
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
do his,
what was
MCU for
MCU
you.
Good to you, man. What's been going on with you, man?
I'll be honest with you guys. I have not seen anything related to the MCU since the last project that came out, which was
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Yeah, I took a break from actually watching any MCU movies because I wanted to explore more genres of different movies out there. This is not MCU related, but I just saw Cocaine Bear.
Oh, was it good?
It was hilarious. It's a bear and cocaine killing people. It's gory, funny, and
Fun for the whole family.
yeah. And it was I forgot his name. He recently passed away. That was the last movie that he was in. He was on Goodfellas.
Oh, you're gonna make
one
me
of the
do
main
it.
guys.
Ray Liotta.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot his name. That was his last role. So I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. I was a big fan of him on Goodfellas. So so that's my quote unquote MCU
Oh, it's cool.
lifestyle right now.
We still talk some Marvel. We got your top 3 top 2.5 shows, essentially.
Top 2.5.
Top show in one episode of the MCU shows.
I'm curious. How did you feel?
One
how do you feel
episode.
about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I feel like that's using the most divisive one.
Ass. Straight up
He said
ass.
it sucked. How dare you?
No, okay. So
Can you even remember what happened in that show besides like two scenes?
we see Simo on the clubs,
That's something I never knew I wanted that I needed.
right?
Yes.
I've rewatched it a few times. I'm a big John Walker stan. I really loved him. So
He was really good. Surprisingly, he got so much hate for the character and or the character
You
himself.
saying you're standing for John Walker the character or John Walker the actor?
Oh, the actor.
Yeah, both.
No, the character.
No, I think he was standing for the character.
Now, Louis,
both.
No,
Louis'
I
on
like
record is
both.
standing both. He loves them both.
I was speaking of the character of the show. He got so much hate because of what happened after he killed that dude with a shield. By the way, one of the epic scenes of the whole show. But he was just trying to be the good guy. He just got hate because he killed someone. But yet again, every other MCU person or character just kills everybody.
Finally.
But they don't get shit on. So
That's what I've been saying.
I think he just became Louis' new best friend.
That's what I've been saying, man.
2 years and you finally get someone to agree to your viewpoint on that, Lou.
It's about damn time.
it's true. They all kill people, and then yet again they're free walking. Then yet again, this dude comes around, kills someone, and he's the most hated person in the world. He takes all his titles, all his ranks, literally the shield was taken away from him for something that everybody else has done.
Interesting.
Disagree.
I didn't like the last episode though, with his speech. No, of the very end.
You don't like the
speech.
last episode of any show.
They all suck. Every episode of every show sucks. Episode 6 sucks, and every other show. Fight me. They all suck.
Except Loki's. Loki's is good.
Yeah, Loki's pretty good. I don't even need to bring up Miss Marvel just as a series as a general because that thing was all over the place.
You don't.
Yep.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, man. Blanked out her name. Iman Vellani. She looks like she's gonna steal the fucking show in the Marvels movie. I mean, Louis hasn't seen the
100%
trailer.
is.
Louis is very good at not seeing trailers. I don't know how he does it hosting a Marvel podcast, but that trailer, I'm pretty stoked because she just seems like she's gonna lead the MCU at some point.
This looks like the second season of the show.
It does.
Of like how the music goes, how beat it is. Like her movie, Captain Marvel movie, wasn't like that. So it doesn't feel like a sequel, quote unquote, to her movie. So it feels like a second season to her show.
Yeah.
Barf.
I say a lot of times on our show, but she gives me massive like Tom Holland Spider-Man vibes with the type of character she is.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, look, all the hate to her show, I'm just gonna go out and say it. But her as a character, I freaking love it. And I think like if she's utilized correctly, oh my gosh. I mean, massive W.
No quarrels there, man. I mean, she really was probably the best part of that entire show. Yeah. You know, we'll talk about some random stuff probably off air a little bit, but we definitely want to talk about our top 5 Guardians of the Galaxy moments because we're only a few weeks away for this movie finally actually coming out. This is hopefully going to be the biggest movie of the year at least for Marvel. I mean, it's Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Dude,
Sure hope so.
Hopefully.
If it bombs,
Hopefully.
we're screwed.
It's going to be wild. I hope it goes well. We'll do some predictions maybe at the end of this episode. Before I get into that, my MCU for you, I thought was actually kind of cool. So I got to go to DC for the first time in my life for a work conference. And so one of the nights I had a little bit of free time. So I just took an Uber. My hotel is relatively close to a lot of the memorials. So I actually went to, for the first time ever, the Washington Monument. And then I pretty much walked all the way through like the National Mall, all the way to the Lincoln Memorial and everything, because they've had some great MCU filming moments there, from The Winter Soldier as well as Spider-Man Homecoming and everything like that. So I pretty much went on a walking tour of like, I listened to, I love the score so much. The Winter Soldier is my favorite movie. Ironically, as a Spider-Man stan, essentially. I listened to the entire Winter Soldier soundtrack from Henry Jackman as I was walking around. I felt like so fucking patriotic, and I never do as an American. So it was like a really great experience, minus all the random kids.
Someone say "On Your Left" to you.
Oh my God. I went this hard, man. I looked up all the like specific scenes so I could find where they actually filmed it at. So I could try and take photos at the exact angles that they're showing like Sam and Cap running. And I don't know. iPhone's okay. But it was kind of fun. But there were so many times where there was random people just like going past me, and I was just like, on your left. But I'm sure they probably get so sick of it. There's probably going to be someone who's like, I swear to God, if one mother fucking tells me one more time.
Person says it.
But yeah, dude, it was a really cool experience, you know, like literally just standing and seeing these monuments and then just kind of like listening to the music too. It just felt very I don't know, very immersive. And so I highly recommend it. If you're ever finding your place around anywhere they filmed anything, not even DC, relative to Marvel or something else you like, try listening to the soundtrack that's relative to it. And it really makes you feel like you're in it. I was hoping there'd be some type of like cool thing that would happen, or Nick Fury would just like drive by, or clearly it wasn't, just a bunch of fucking high school and middle schoolers running around, sliding down memorials and taking stupid ass selfies. Underpaid teachers yelling at kids not to slide down the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial, which was kind of amusing, I'm not gonna lie. But it was a fun time.
Wild, you had such a Marvel experience at a place called DC.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
hold on, he's looking for it. There it is.
There it is.
There you go.
There we are.
got me there, man. You got me there.
And as far as listening to the soundtracks, I actually have a vacation planned to Morag pretty soon.
Oh, dude, sick.
And I've got the awesome mix loaded up on my phone. So
nice, man.
I'll be there for you, Devin.
You don't want to go to nowhere?
Find that. Oh, nowhere. That'd be a good one too.
No.
They got stuff
Just
there
trying
now.
to get the Power Stone.
Okay, I respect that.
Oh man. All right, let's do this. So basically, what we're gonna do is talk about our favorite moments, time down from 5 to 1, and do some honorable mentions from people who sent some in some really cool submissions. So let's get into this.
Oh, you looking for this?
So the way we're gonna go about this countdown here is we're just gonna go starting at our least favorite all the way to our number one. Just kind of going one by one here. And so sometimes I'm sure it's gonna happen. Someone might have the same one on their list, might be higher or lower than someone else. So we'll try and still go through it. No one has to change on last minute, like, oh shit, kind of like we talked about off air and everything, but just so the fans at home know. While you're listening, please send us a DM, email us, get in touch with us. Let us know what your favorite moment is or what you're most looking forward to with Guardians of the Galaxy. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and we'll give you a shout out on the next episode or when we do our review for Volume 3. So I'll start off here with my number 5. I'll go crazy. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Louis. I know I make you go first for everything.
You can start today,
Wow.
I guess.
Oh man, what an asshole. Talking about myself, that is, not Lou. I love you. All right, so number 5, I'm gonna start off with going back to Christmas time, because I cannot believe how much I enjoyed the holiday special. It exceeded my expectations by far. And my favorite thing in that entire show is the I Don't Know What Christmas Is song that they do in the beginning from old 97s. That song is a banger, quote unquote. I love just all the goofy ass lyrics. It's so good. It's so funny. And I had that on repeat when I was wrapping stuff on Christmas morning, dude. It just fit the theme and everything. And so I love it. And I love Quill, like with his face, like, no, that's what? No. And just talking about how like Mrs. Claus is on a pole and everything, and just like they're gonna kill humans and just rain. Dear, 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 dear.
Right.
It's so good. So
There.
I consider that one of the best moments, and that's going to be on my top 5, kicking off my list. So maybe over to you, Louie. What is your number 5?
Hey, let's go inter podcast here. Let's hear what Messi has
Good
to
idea.
say.
Good idea.
I like the scene on the first movie when they're in the jail. They're breaking out, to be more specifically. I think that was like I feel like that was in the first moment that they all work together. That's quote unquote when they became the Guardians of the Galaxy, when they work as a team and they're all getting out of the jail. And one of the best parts is when Peter Quill brings the legs to Rocket and he goes, "Oh, that was a joke." And that's when the whole theory of like Rocket's building a cyborg for himself later on in the movies. I thought that scene was hilarious, full of action, obviously, and yes, out of my top 5, that's one of my favorite scenes of the movies.
I have
of the
never
Guardians of the
heard that
Galaxies.
theory that he's been trying to build himself like a mech suit out of limbs and shit.
You never heard
I've
about
never
it?
heard that, but I love it. It's so crazy.
I mean,
It's funny.
Think about it. Almost every movie or every moment that he's in screen that he's trying to steal someone else's body part.
That's why I needed
Think
that's why I
about it.
needed the batteries to power it.
Arbulary batteries.
I like this theory. I'd never. Louis, have you ever heard this?
That he's trying to build no, but he is right. He needs that guy's eye. He needs that guy's leg. How much for the arm? So yeah, it makes sense. I've never heard of him building a robot or something.
So pretty much every time he's been in something, he's asked for a limb or something, right? So do they continue that tradition with 3?
Maybe he finishes on
Yeah,
3.
maybe. Ooh, that's gonna be a good prediction. Oh man, that just made my night. I love that. All right, Lou, what is your number 5?
Earlier in the episode, Devin, you said that The Winter Soldier is your favorite movie, and I'm on record saying that Guardians of the Galaxy is my second favorite MCU movie. So a lot of mine are just quotes and stuff from that first movie. And at number 5, I'm going to go with the Stan Lee cameo. It may not be the Stan Lee cameo, but it's right before it. And it's like a little boy walking down the stairs with his mom. And it's Rocket talking to Groot. And he goes, and look at him. It's not okay to get help. And that always tickled me pink, you know.
Doesn't he call him a gargoyle?
You little gargoyle.
Gargoyle. Rocket's gonna have the
Rocket,
best one-liners.
I have 3 Rocket one-liners on my list.
Wow.
And you'll hear more later.
Well, I'm definitely tuning in, man. I'm set for it. So let's end off this round 5. Danny, what's on your list?
Number 5 on my list, we're going all the way back to 2014. Opening scene. I mean, Peter Quill just, this starts it off. This starts off the franchise. Him on Morag singing, come and get your love. And you're just jamming. And then there's like that out scene where like you actually hear his actual voice and realize that's how we all sound when we think we're singing in the shower and we think we're good, but we're not. We just sound like trash. So to me, that really set it off. Like I'm already smiling and laughing. The beginning of this, I'm like, man, what's gonna happen next? Because this is already kind of crazy. And we just kept going. We just kept getting greatness from there. So we all know Guardians soundtrack is top tier and has remained that way. Guardians 1, Guardians 2, holiday special. You always get these bangers. So to me, started it off, and that's why it's on my top 5.
That's a good one. And you know, in Endgame, they even made that scene better, just like
yes,
with Rhodey, just like
the throwback, and then they punched him. It was just too great. It was too great.
Yeah.
It's good. I hate to divert us, but I have to ask, what is everyone's favorite Guardians of the Galaxy song from
Mr. Blue Light.
Ooh.
Good one. Ooh.
You didn't even hesitate. You were ready.
As I have it on my playlist, I listen to every day. I love that song. That's actually my number 4.
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay. Mine is Wham. From it's called Wham, right? From
Yeah.
Volume 2. Me and my friend, I don't know why, he really liked that song, and so when the movie came out, I think we were still in college, so hearing it
Which
on
song?
the car. We got a wham, pew, wham.
Bang.
It's
That's
when
all-
yeah.
The
it's
Eagle
funny.
fight.
Cabin?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's when
with
he's like
Kraglin.
soup. It's good. It's a catchy ass song, and that's her only hit. So it's even better that it's a one hit wonder.
Yes, one hit wonder.
Heck yeah.
The entire Guardians 2 movie is held together by Brandy, and I love that song. So that whole movie is just like about that song. And yeah, give me that song.
Okay.
go.
Okay. I don't remember the name of it might be the name that Messi said. Is that the one that's like dun 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 dun?
Come and get your love in the beginning, right?
No, you're doing
Come and get your love. Ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
ding,
you're
ding.
right.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Come and get your love.
That one.
Mr. Blue
and
Sky. Mr. Blue Sky is at the beginning of Guardians 2
Two.
when you're
Yep.
fighting the big
That's what it was. Yeah.
big
yeah.
tentacle monster.
I was trying to remember where that was from. And the Christmas song that I don't know what Christmas is, but the amount of times I listen to that on repeat is more than I'm comfortable saying.
It's a
There's a
Christmas
lot of
song.
songs.
It's a Christmas song that gonna be played every Christmas. Moving forward.
Big
No
facts.
shame,
It's a
man.
Gold Groot.
No shame. Whenever, because our crazy ass weather, whenever it gets cold and it's basically snowing and it's middle of April, I don't care. I throw on my Sinatra Christmas playlist. If it's gonna be cold
Barf.
out, I may as well enjoy it with something like the
Whoa.
warm tones of Sinatra.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Okay.
Louis, but you said trash to Frank Sinatra.
No.
Oh.
I said barf to snow in the middle of April.
Oh, okay. I heard the Sinatra and the answer barf. Like, no.
No.
He's
barf
Italian.
in the middle of snow in April.
Heck yeah.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, you
Florida weather.
yeah.
Must be nice.
Well, you got hurricanes, and that's something we don't have to worry
Yeah.
about. So I guess
Hurricane-
there's a trade-off
Hurricane-
there.
Hurricane season
everyone
is coming.
comes.
That's why if you ever do come to Florida, do not come in summer. It's the worst time to come to Florida. Exactly. I'm just letting you know right now. Is hurricane season in Florida is starting soon. So
Whew.
I hate it.
Coming soon to a Florida near you.
Off the shore is the hurricane. Oh man. All right. So we got a little bit of a preview of what Messi's number 4 is. So
Yeah.
my number 4 is actually when the Guardians. So this is in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's a little story I got with this too. So when they do the hero kind of pose in the middle of Ego's head and everything, when they do like a team up, you have the good music, the camera's doing that nice swirl kind of angle and everything, and you're like, yeah, this is the Guardians of the freaking Galaxy 2.0. And then within a second, debris just smacks the ever-living shit out of Mantis, and she goes, dunk. When I saw that movie the first time I saw that movie, I was with my 2 good friends from college. We just finished our semester, so we were just having a ball. James and DMAC. DMAC saw that scene and immediately laughed so hard that he became silent, started slipping out of his movie seat, and was laughing for the remainder of the movie just thinking about it. And then, so as a joke, I got him a couple weeks later, I got a Mantis Funko Pop, and he was like playing some game in his room at one time, and I just walked in and he was distracted. And I was like, yo, DMAC. He goes, what? He's like, playing 2K or something. I just take the Mantis box and I whip it at him. And he's like, the hell? And then as soon as he pauses, he looks down. He goes from being like mad, looks and recognizes that it's Mantis,
100% is.
instantly same exact reaction. Laughing so hard, he falls out of his seat on the couch because he's like, the sound is what gets him every time. That dunk, Mantis, look out afterwards. So every time I see the movie, I just cannot help but think of my good friend DeMarcus. So shout out to him if he's listening. But I think that's just a funny ass scene.
It really was. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So Messi, tell us why number 4. the beginning of that Guardians of the Galaxy 2, why it's on your list?
I feel like the intro for number 1, it was great, and I feel like they had to top it on the second one.
It's great because you got
And the
Baby
intro
Groot
with
just
Mr. Blue Sky,
minding his own business, and
little
everyone's
Baby
like
Groot
getting
just running
smacked
around
in the
while
background.
they're fighting, and it's just, I love the song. The song is one of my favorite songs right now, and the song makes it better with the scene, and
Really?
so good. I love that scene. The intro, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, and I didn't realize until recently that James Gunn did the entire choreography as Groot in like a little mocap suit. So that dance sequence is that's all James Gunn. He did the entire dance. So it's kind of funny seeing him do that. Yeah, so him and his brother, they do the weirdest mocaps, man. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's on our Instagram story, so it's gone by now, but they're doing their press circuit and everything for Guardians Volume 2. And one of the things they were doing, for whatever reason, who thought of it is a genius. In South Korea, they're doing charades. And just watching James Gunn do charades is hilarious. And then at one point, I guess he lost to Karen Gillan. And at one point, I think he was doing Yondu with the fin. And he just turns over because his turn was over. And he just looks straight at Karen and gives the biggest middle finger on the middle of the stage straight to her. And it's just so funny because you tell everyone's like, oh. Different cultures and stuff. It was just funny. He's just like, hey. Or anyways, fuck you. And just walks off. It's so funny. All righty. Who we got up next? Is it you, Lou?
So I am next. And my number 4, if you tell me you haven't done this before, you're lying to me, is what I've decided, is when you're like spying on someone and you stand so incredibly still that you're invisible. Drax, you're eating a Zarg nut. Damn it. How long have you been standing there? Half an hour. Drax standing there being so incredibly invisible. It's gotten so many great memes, and it's just Peter and Gamora having this serious talk, and then it just Drax. I feel like they've ruined Drax with the Guardians movies, but that's a different topic for a different time. But him as a comic relief is always good enough for me, and it's just him standing there eating the Zarg nut. If I move so incredibly slowly.
Here's a hot take. I didn't think that scene wasn't that funny compared to other Guardians.
I agree.
I
agree with you on that one.
That's why it's number 4, man.
I think this is why you're having technical issues on your side. You have really weird hot takes.
I'm not the one that said what if was in my top, so
one episode.
Just the one episode.
Yeah. One episode is good enough.
One and done. Oh man, I could tell you guys are good friends, or absolutely hate each other and just are too afraid to play this game of chicken of who actually says you don't want to be friends anymore. Which is essentially the plot of the Banshees of Inisherin. If you watch that movie, which I cried, I did not expect. Anywho, Danny, what's your number 4?
Oh, my number 4, if you can't tell, which you probably haven't yet, but you will eventually. I love Guardians 1 more than I love Guardians 2. Guardians 2 is great, but not Guardians 1. And I'm going to, as I said, the very beginning of Guardians 1, I'm going to fast forward to the very end of Guardians 1. And let's go with the dance-off between him and the bad guy, as well as the final part where they were all locking hands as they were holding the Power Stone. And the dude was just shook. And I believe it was Peter Quill. And he was like, you said it yourself. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy, bitch. And I was like, yes, yeah. So I was just loving it.
I think Louis disappeared.
I was so incredibly still. Oh, it hurt not to blink. That's a great moment. Dance off, bro. Me and you. It made my list.
I mean, what movie do you have the final fight being a freaking dance off and make it work and make it work? It was just awesome.
Did it better than all the Step Up movies.
Yep.
They did.
I don't know any more other dance movies on top of my head that have the competition, but I know.
Step Up 1 with Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan Tatum? How come you're shitting on all of my favorite childhood movies, Devin?
I'm not shitting on it. It's the only one I could think of.
Just shit.
We're just
all
saying
over it.
in comparison to Peter Quill's dance off, not as good.
Dance off,
All right,
bro.
Lou, if you're a true
Me and you.
if you're a true fan of Step Up, who directed it?
Again, Michael Bay.
Did he really?
No,
Oh.
I don't know who directed it. I have no idea.
You were confident in when you said it, so
Confidence is key. I got Star Wars trivia next week. I've never watched any Star Wars. I'm going to win.
Oh no.
Yeah, you got to defend our podcast title. We got a lot of training montages to go through.
I'm just talking shit to somebody in the group chat, and I don't know anything about Star Wars. It's gonna be a good time.
It's going to be awesome. Darth Paul is the go-to answer for everything. But the answer to this trivia, Louis, it's Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed, the director of all the
Son of a
Ant-Man
gun.
films, is the one
I
who
went to
directed
high
Step
school
Up.
with. I went to high school with Peyton Reed.
That would have meant you and I went to high school with a guy who is 20 years older than us.
Probably a guy
I
named
thought-
Peyton Reed.
I thought Peyton Reed was a girl. So
I know Peyton. He couldn't read. And that's your bad one. I'm not even gonna give myself the sound effect for that one.
Where's the fucking drum for that, man?
That was bad. I'm not proud of that one, man. I don't know. That's where people boo.
Oh,
They're just like, get out of here, man. But yeah, that, honestly, Danny, that is a very good moment. I think I can't remember, and I have to go back after this episode, but did they spoil that dance off in a trailer? Or was that saved?
I couldn't remember that.
Honestly, don't
But
remember.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised given
Yeah.
the way Marvel's just spoiling everything in their trailers.
Peter, take my hand.
Oh man. Before that too, when or afterwards, when they get you all pumped up in the dance off and everything, but then you had that really sad moment with poor Rocket just holding like the twig of Groot, and then you see Yondu
Yes.
just like showing emotion. Oh man. Breaks my heart, man. Breaks my freaking heart. Well, things that don't break my heart though, that's pretty funny. So in my number 3 from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I think I like better than 1, the more I look at this list, and it's showing. I don't know. I think the
Volume
second
2
one's
is better.
funnier. I think the
Yeah.
first one had the better story, but 2 is just I think
2 is funnier, but
yeah.
but we're talking
2 is
about
better.
overall movie.
2 is better.
I will say number 1 is the better movie, but number 2 is better in my eyes. I will yield
I can
the floor.
respect that.
No.
I
I
can
will
respect
respect
that
number
as
1.
long as you agree 1 is better to
2
universally.
1 is not better.
Oh man. I feel like we're talking about episodes of What If now. But what was it? This moment. So in the jail cell where you have Rocket and Yondu trying to get Groot to get Yondu's fin.
That's on my list.
Oh, I love it,
That was
man.
hilarious.
Oh, I love it. It's like Groot just looks so cute. And then it's like, is it this? Is it this? Oh, okay. Is this? And at one point, what did they grab? Did they grab it? They didn't grab an
A
eye.
desk.
He grabbed an
They
eye.
grabbed a desk. I forgot about that.
Somebody's finger
You
or
got the
toe. It was somebody's toe.
He's just like,
Tell me you have a fridge full of severed human toes somewhere.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was a toe.
it's,
Nope.
it's like, no, or put that back. Let's not talk about this.
Groot, that's a
Let's
desk.
not
We
talk
told you
about
it's this big.
when he brought the whole desk.
Oh my God.
That's like I always think of that scene as like a Family Guy scene. I feel like they would do that in Family Guy.
That's a good one. I just thought of it too, like how Family Guy did a pretty good job doing the parodies of Star Wars, the original trilogy. I could see them doing a decent job of like a certain Marvel film. I don't know
Yeah.
which one, but I think they could do a decent job of doing a parody. Maybe like an early Avengers
They
film.
can pull it off.
Yeah. But oh God, that's good. I forgot about the desk. That cracks me up. Messi, was that also, you said that was on your list too. Is that higher
Yeah.
up or is that the same spot, number 3?
We're at 3.
Let's keep it at 3 because I got like
Okay.
7. I got 7 scenes on my list. But
Heck
that
yeah.
that one was pretty up there.
Guardians 2, probably.
All Guardians 2. I love that movie. Yeah, that scene is hilarious. Like I don't know what other scene than that you can really top a Baby Groot scene. You tell him to bring something, he just literally brings you everything else on the whole ship other than the fin. I thought that was a really, really well done comedy scene for that. I love that scene. This is one of the best ones.
It doesn't feel like they're just like beating a dead horse too. Like every time he brings something back, it's funny. It's not just like, okay, the lid, and I don't have children. Louis, is that how it feels sometimes when you ask like, I don't know, Henry to go grab something for you?
Does it feel funny? No, it's fucking infuriating.
I meant to say,
No,
just your son grabs anything
it's
else.
not funny. It's not funny at all. It makes you want to kick him in his fucking head.
For the record, we do not condone child violence or anything of that nature,
Child
but
abuse.
child abuse. But
I said want to. I didn't actually kick him in his head yet.
there we go. Oh man, Henry's gonna go back and listen to these when he's our age, and he's gonna be like, "My dad is an asshole to me." No, Lou's the best dad ever. Alrighty. Well, speaking of you, Lou, what is number 3 on your list?
Get your love. Which one am I gonna pick? Let's go with he got my dick message. He got my dick message. Where Peter sends the message to, I'll never remember his name, but the guy John C. Reilly plays.
Ah, right.
He goes, well, it says, and I quote, he's not 100% a dick. And then later on, they're fighting. The Nova Corps is doing like, what's that game where you sit at the bottom and you shoot up at the ship?
Space Invaders?
That game. They're playing that game, but with Ronan's army or whatever. And then the Nova Corps ends up showing up, and he goes, "They got my dick message." And if you didn't laugh or smile at that from the first Guardians movie, you don't have a soul. Also, since I'm talking and I have to say it, do you guys watch Futurama at all?
Love Futurama.
I actually started watching it again. I just got Hulu, and it's on Hulu, so I just started rewatching from the very, very beginning.
Good time.
So there's an episode of Futurama. I don't know the season or anything, but Leela meets a guy who's actually a Cyclops, and then they end up like trying to make Cyclops babies, and as it turns out that this guy's like banging a bunch of aliens because he's a shapeshifter and all that good stuff. Are you familiar with that episode?
I'm trying to think, but I don't think I am.
Devin, do you remember that episode?
Yes, and every time
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what it is. Futurama did it in 30 minutes. Well, probably like 21 minutes.
It blows my mind every time you bring it up.
They didn't have the soundtrack. They didn't have Rocket. They didn't have Star-Lord.
They had Nibbler.
They had Leela, Katie Seagal, doing her best Peg from Married with Children. That was the alien's name, Al something, Alzar or Al something like that. Al. Yeah. That's not my number 3, but I did want to share that. My number 3 was the dick message. Over to you, Danny.
Ooh, number 3. Number 3, we went to the beginning, we went to the end. Now we're going to the middle. God damn it. So it's going to be when Peter Quill was getting captured by Gamora on one side and then Rocket and Groot on the other. And they were just all trying to take this, the Power Stone / Peter Quill in general. So that to me was just really funny because this is kind of when you got your introduction of Rocket and Groot. They're funny dynamic. And then obviously Gamora is still like in this other type of mindset. But and Peter Quill's just like this. I mean, he's a space thief in a sense, but he's also like this dumbass goofball. So it's like, it was just like really funny the way it was all working out, because there'd be a time where like he's screwed by, like he's about to be captured by someone, but then either Gamora or Rocket / Groot, come in and ruin it for the other person. It was just like all this back and forth banter. It was just really funny to me. So I love that scene, and that's got to be my number 3.
They did a good job of setting the tone. By they, I mean James Gunn and cast, but they did a really good job because like you said, it's just a fun game of like, I don't know, even like kick the can feels like the wrong game to just describe it as.
Cat and mouse.
Yeah, like cat and mouse, and it's just
cat
so
and
funny.
Mouse. And I will preface by saying Rocket is my favorite character of the Guardians and one of my probably top 2 characters of the entire MCU. So
top 2.
I love Rocket. It's Rocket and WandaVision. Wanda. So
I ship it.
That is quite a top 2. Those are very different people.
Dude, honestly,
person in
Rocket, I
Raccoon.
think honestly, like it doesn't surprise me that he's in your even top 2, because I feel like
He's just, anytime he's on screen, you can't help but like laugh. He's too funny. Bradley Cooper's Rocket is freaking funny as heck.
and I still can't like wrap my head around that
That's
that's
Bradley
Bradley
Cooper.
Cooper. Like even
Yeah.
watching him doing videos in the like vocal booth, it
Like
just I
doing the vocals.
cannot
It's
believe that's his
real.
voice. It's so good. Oh god. Have either of you guys played the Guardians of the Galaxy video game that came out a couple of years ago?
Messi did.
I didn't finish it, but I did start it. It's a pretty good game so far.
It took me a while to beat it. When I got a PS5 finally, I beat it. But dude, even Rocket in that game's funny. He's just
Yeah.
like he's got the same kind of one-liners and everything, but they say flark like every sentence, so it kind of gets annoying after a while. That's the only swear word they do. But Rocket in that game is pretty fucking funny.
I think they took the same way that they portray it in the movie, because Rocket on the comics or even on the animated shows on Disney XD, he's not that comic relief or comedy person that he is on the movies. He actually he loves Star-Lord. Like he's like best buds with him. Like not like us right now. We're just being dicks to each other. No, he's the opposite of that. So I think they took the same route of it because people are familiar with Rocket on the movies. So it makes sense of how they portrayed him on the video game as well. But the game is pretty good. It's better than Avengers. Way better than Avengers.
A wet fart is better than the Avengers game, to be honest. No disrespect. It's just that game is clunky. But yeah, Guardians, go play it, go beat it. You'll have a good time. Alrighty. So we speaking of 2 and everything, we're on our number 2 already.
Oh yeah.
So my number 2 is actually going to dive into Infinity War. When the Guardians are it's Peter, it's Drax, it's Mantis, and they're chatting with Doctor Strange, Tony, and Spider-Man. They're all trying to figure out their game plan against Thanos on Titan and everything. I love that moment because it's like, have you guys seen that one funny video where it's just like showing all the like, it's doing like the Wii like do 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 music, and they're showing like Mantis and Drax are like jumping in the background with
Jumping
gravity.
in the back.
Peter's looking around, like Peter Parker's looking around everywhere, like what's going on? What the hell? Like he's jumping, what? Like so confused, and just like you see Tony just like, we are so fucked, and it's just like it's so funny because it's like we know these characters for a while now, but just seeing them interact with each other and just like how they're already just like these are the heroes that are supposed to be hopefully saving the whole freaking galaxy in a matter of minutes, and it's just like yeah, we kick names and take ass. Exactly.
Kick names, take ass.
So good, man. So good. That's another good character for one-liners is Mantis, surprisingly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. So over to you, Messi. What's on your list?
It's actually in the same movie, and it's the Where's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? That scene is one of the most iconic ones from the whole movie. There's thousands of people just trying to mimic that whole scene, and me seeing it the first time on the big screen it was it. That was the best part of the whole movie. It saved it a lot. That scene is the first interaction of
saved it.
Yeah.
Saved the movie?
Infinity War? Yeah.
Wow.
Was the movie in trouble?
Wait, what?
Okay, wait. Okay, let me rephrase that. Infinity War is one of my favorite ones. It's not okay. It didn't save it. It saved the scene of the interaction of them. Because think about it. Did you think about like they would be interacting like that, the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy? No, I know. I said I worded it wrong. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And the thing is, you were doubling down on what you were saying, and I was like, wait a second.
No.
Yeah, I was like,
I was literally I was building my own grave right now. So
hey man, that's why we let you cook. We let you cook so you can get that plate out there, serve up some truth. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah,
oh, man, I was worried. Nobody else said anything. I was like, did he just say it saved that movie? Oh my goodness.
I was just so flabbergasted. I was like, there's no way he's saying that. Which is why I didn't react. But then he kept doubling down. And I was like, okay, what?
Like,
I'm
yo, can we
about-
pause? Can we pause real quick?
I am about to get canceled. The
So I was
nerd
like,
culture.
stop the recording right now.
He's like, oh my God, our podcast is ruined. You cannot release this episode.
Delete this episode.
Oh man, that's funny. But still, hey man, even if Infinity War is not your favorite movie, I don't know if those people are out there, but it's okay. There's 20 million freaking movies and shows out there, so everyone's bound to have a lot in their top and a lot in their bottom. So we do not judge, unless it's what if, and then we're gonna judge a little bit. I'm still kidding, Mr. Bubble Popper down there, Loey, what you doing? What's number 2 for you?
Wowie. You're good. My number 2 is from the first Guardians movie again, because I love that movie. And it's near we went at the beginning, we went at the end, we went in the middle. Now we're going to go at like the middle of the end. It's when they're like trying to come up with a plan to stop Ronan, and they're all like standing or sitting or whatever the fuck they're doing. And Peter says, I have a plan. He goes, how much of a plan do you have? And he says like 10%. And then Groot says, he says, that's not a plan. And then Groot says, I am Groot. He goes, who cares if it's more than 9% of a plan? Like that's one of my favorite lines. That cracks me up. And then through the whole thing, they like come up with whatever. And then by the end, they're all standing. And then he goes, great. Now we're all standing here. Just a bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
That's a good one.
That's a great scene. The who cares if it's better than 11% or whatever the fuck he says. One of those numbers.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's better than 10%? I have part of a plan. How much of a plan do you have? 12%?
There's nothing better than the Guardians reacting to I am Groot. And they're just, it's like complete, because it's the same 3 words, but like to them, it's a completely different thing. They're like, whoa, what are you saying? It's just like, but all you hear is I am Groot.
Look at the acorns on you, pal.
Whoa!
Hey,
You got some acorns on you, kid.
Ever since you got a little sap, you're a total D-hole.
He says, kid. D-hole.
What I'm impressed with, you actually matched the perfect pitch of him going, whoa, without even hearing the clip first. So that's why I was like, I had to play that, because I was like, I think you just did it spot on. Mr. Singer over here, Louis.
Star-Lord's in my top 5 characters, if that helps.
Okay. It's a respectable choice.
Hell yeah. Over to you, Danny. What is number 2 for you?
Number two. I don't know if I'm taking Messi's number 1, but I'll go more specifically. So it's the end, towards the end of Guardians 2, when Rocket and Groot, or Baby Groot, are interacting with and Rocket's trying to explain how to set off this detonator to Baby Groot, and they're just like going back and forth because he's like, I am Groot, and he keeps clicking the wrong one, and he's like, okay, so which one are you gonna do? I am Groot. No, it's just so funny. And then like everything else that's going on afterwards, like freaking Peter Quill asking for, what was it, tape?
Tape, yeah.
It was tape.
asking
Oh
everybody.
my god, it's just like this funny ass scene going on.
Yeah, Scotch tape will
It's
do.
like, you got tape? It's just like, who was it? Drax was he the one that asked like what kind of tape?
Drax said, is Scotch tape okay? Yeah, Scotch tape will do. Well, then why did you ask if Scotch tape would
Yeah,
do?
he's like it was too freaking funny. Like that whole scene with just all these different Guardians being just dumb. But I am Groot. No!
How is that even possible?
I love that scene. One of my top, I mean, it's why it's my number 2. It's just one of my top Guardians and MCU moments in general.
It's a funny scene too. Even that's what I think shows how good of a scene it is that was definitely in the trailers. I remember that one, but it's still funny every time I watch it. It doesn't take it away from me.
100%.
It doesn't kill it. It's just so funny. I mean, it's just James Gunn knows exactly the chemistry and formula for what makes every scene and moment between any mix you choose of Guardians just click, and it's so funny. And also in that sequence too, I totally forgot that Quill, while he's battling Ego, he turns into Pac-Man. I completely forgot that happened. And I was like, am I watching Pixels with Adam Sandler?
Pixels.
Yeah.
Not a good
Pixels
movie.
is a great movie. I don't know who just said not a good movie. Pixels is a great movie.
It is not a good movie. And I
It's
love Adam Sandler.
It's a great
but that is not a
movie.
good movie.
Somebody's more important. Come on. That movie's awesome.
I seen it one time, but I seen clips of it. I want to see it again. From what I remember, it was a good, entertaining movie for Adam Sandler. So I
was gonna make another Adam Sandler joke, but I didn't.
All right, Devin. Adam Sandler's coming to the MCU. He's gonna be Galactus. Anyways, Devin, who do you got as your number one?
That'll be the day.
I'd love to see him in the MCU because he totally wouldn't even realize it's a Marvel movie. He'd be like, yeah, well, I don't know. What are you gonna do about it? Alrighty, so number one, I'm gonna get real here. I know everything's funny, but number one for me, every time, it is. I know it's definitely on someone's list. Yondu, in general, but here I'm gonna stretch it here. Yondu saying the Mary Poppins, y'all, and everything is great. But really what kills it for me is that line, he may have been your father's son, but he ain't your daddy. That's great. But what really, really puts the icing on the cake is when he finally gets the Ravager funeral when they told him he would not get it. And he gets it. And every fucking person, the Ravagers, comes there. Yeah, and that just like Kraglin doing the crying, just heart pounding, dude. It literally made me like, no. Like, I was like, don't make me feel emotions in this movie. My semester just ended 20 minutes ago. Dude, it's so good. And it's a good example of how you balance like tragedy and comedy well, and not just being way too extreme and polar opposites that becomes daunting and disorienting. It really does a great job of telling a character story that you really wish there was more of. That's one thing I do like about What If is we got more Yondu and Michael Rooker. So that is my number one Guardians moment.
Well, I remember you said you really enjoyed his the Yondu in the Christmas special too, the holiday special rather.
Yeah, with the animated scene and everything, because it explains more about it was good. I like that. Man, I'm gonna get sad. Messi, was this your number one too?
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's the whole Yondu death and the funeral. That was
Yondu's death is overrated, but
no, it's not. Woo. I tell him all the time.
He thinks it's the saddest scene in the MCU. I don't.
It's one of the most saddest, impactful death scenes of any character in the MCU. I don't care about Iron Man. I don't care about Natasha. Like, I don't care if you call me father issues. I felt father issues at that moment. My dad left me as a kid, but then he left now when he just died. Dude, that scene broke my heart.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Like when people are just like saying these are just some heroes and tights and capes and random movies and blah blah blah. Yeah. There's nothing. There's no substance.
Thor is the only one that wears a cape.
Vision wears a cape.
Vision doesn't count. He got turned into a fucking kebab.
He's an Avenger.
Oh, he was an Avenger.
I forgot about Vision.
Wanda wears a cape. What about Wanda? She wears a cape.
Wanda wears
Doctor Strange wears a cape.
Yeah, that's a pretty big cape, actually. I can't believe I forgot about that one. That's a pretty big deal.
Spider-Man wears a cape sometimes.
He wore
Doctor Strange cape.
Yeah.
There's the one cape. They all wear the one same cape.
Ned wore the
cape. Moon Knight got a cape.
Moon Knight has a cape.
Does Taskmaster
Miss Marvel has a cape.
Yeah, he does wear a cape.
It's more like a... It's like a
Miss Marvel
scarf.
Does.
Miss Marvel?
No. She wears like a scarf.
Yeah, it's a scarf.
It's not a...
No, not her new suit. Her new suit is a cape.
Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right on that one.
Oh, in the trailer, I didn't see that.
Oh, spoilers, Louis. She has a cape.
She's got a cape.
I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't ruin it.
Wanda does not wear a cape. It's a fucking...
It's like a long...
It's a flowy shirt.
Long blazer. It's a really long blazer.
If it looks like a cape, walks like a cape, quacks like a cape, it's a cape. Anyways, man. Louis, I think we're on to you with your number one.
I'm
sorry, that joke backfired so bad. You're so confident only one person had a cape, and we just like this. You're like, oh fuck.
Fucking Doctor Strange with his cape. My number one is...
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
There it is. I didn't. I couldn't decide my number one, so I'm going with two moments, but they're both Rocket one-liners because who has better one-liners than Rocket? The first Guardians movie, Drax calls Ronan, and then Ronan shows up, and then Peter and Gamora try to escape. They get taken, yada, yada, yada. Drax tries to fight Ronan, gets his ass whooped because they made Drax a pussy. Regardless, Ronan leaves, and then they're standing there, and then Rocket's like, well, let's go ahead and get on the other side of the galaxy here because he's got an Infinity Stone, and we're all fucked, basically. And then Groot says, I am Groot. First of all, Big Groot, best Groot. Don't at me. He says, I am Groot. And then Rocket says something about like, who cares if they're the only friends we've ever had? They're going to blow up the galaxy and blah, blah, blah. And then Drax comes over and he's like, yeah, we got to go get our friends. And then Rocket starts kicking the ground and he says, you're making me kick grass, which is just my favorite thing in that entire movie. I will stop whatever I'm doing to watch that every time because that is just me like grass. That one cracks me up. And then after that movie, and then after the next movie, you go to Avengers Infinity War. Devin, you know what I'm going to say. I say it all the time. It's not funny to anybody except for me, but it's hilarious to me. And it's because when I watched Infinity War, I didn't like catch it. I didn't catch it. I didn't hear it well enough or whatever. But like on the rewatches, maybe even not even the first rewatch, it took me forever to realize what he says. And it's so funny. And it's they bring Thor onto the Benatar and they're all like examining Thor. And Peter says something along the lines of, all right, you guys convinced me. I'm gonna get a Bowflex. I'm gonna start lifting weights.
Yep.
And Rocket says, you can't eat weights, Quill. And it's just the perfect burn. I fucking loved like the first time I actually heard it, I cried. And my wife was like, what, why was that so funny? I was like, that was a fucking harsh burn. That was hilarious. You know what, Quill? You're one sandwich away from being fat. All right.
One sandwich away from being
All right, you
fat.
guys convinced me. I'm gonna get a Bowflex. I'm gonna start lifting weights. You can't eat weights, Quill. Oh, fucking burn! That shit cracked me up. So those were my number. Those were the first two things that I wrote down, and yeah, I'm going with those two for my number one.
Heck yeah, man. I like it. I like the two-parter for the number one, but they all fit, man. Just Rocket one-liners for the win. Danny, cap us off with this top 5 list. What is your number one?
Look, I get so hyped about this because there's nothing better in the MCU to me better than this one moment. And like Louis was saying, Rocket one-liners, top tier. And also that scene, it was just a really funny scene, the whole interaction, because everyone's laughing at Peter saying like, you guys convinced me. People missed the Rocket part, which is pretty funny. But I'm going to go with my favorite funny scene in the entire MCU, to me personally, and that is in Avengers Endgame when I just laugh thinking about it because to me it's just too funny. Iron Man just turns over and goes, well, Rocket says something, and Iron Man's like, for a second there, I thought you were a Build-A-Bear. And Rocket goes, maybe I am. Oh my God. I fucking couldn't stop laughing. I laughed so much. I probably laughed for like 5 minutes straight after that. It was too freaking fun. I laugh every time. I don't care how many times I watch. I will turn on Endgame just to watch that 10-second clip. It's too freaking funny. I thought you were a Build-A-Bear, which to me is already funny. But then Rocket throws the one line and goes, maybe I am.
You know what? I don't remember that line. I completely
It's the funniest thing ever. There's
That is
there's
funny.
no funnier scene in all of the MCU. I laugh at that 100 out of 100 times.
Rocket's got the snap, like the clapbacks, dude.
Rocket is like the CGI, like kind of like Muppet type character, and he's sitting in this chair, and his legs are kind of just like because he's a short guy, so his legs are kind of like there, like if he was like this puppet sitting down, and so it makes perfect sense that Iron Man, who's never seen this talking raccoon before, he's like, I thought you were a Build-A-Bear. Maybe I am. Oh my gosh, I can't not laugh at that scene. To me, it has to be number one because it's my favorite scene of all time.
Respect.
That was good. That really that tickled the funny bone, man. I'm glad we ended that with that. That's funny, man. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye out for and hopefully Rocket doesn't try and steal it, but I'm gonna keep my eye out next time I'm watching Endgame because I cannot believe I do not remember that. It's almost I'm laughing so hard because I'm like, how exactly? How can I forget that? That is.
It's in the beginning right before he gives like his thing to Cap, and he's like, "You go fight Thanos yourself." So it's in that same room. Yeah, it was a fast change, but I mean, I was laughing my ass off in the theater.
Dude, that's a good one. That's great. And so, for those listening, please let us know if we missed any, and I'm sure there's a million that we missed, but we're going to do honorable mentions in just a second. Please let us know what your favorite moment has been of any Guardian of the Galaxy, whether it was in one of their movies or in something else adjacent. We'd love to hear it, and we'll definitely shout you out next episode and on socials and everything. But like I said, let's do a couple honorable mentions before we head out with this episode, because there's some good ones that some people sent in, and surprisingly, there's one that none of us had that is the number one thing that I keep seeing people sharing. So we'll get to that and we'll talk about it in just a second.
Say my name.
Tony Stank.
Say my name.
Noob Master.
Say my name.
Who?
Say my name.
So no one mentioned on their list the "We Are Groot" moment in Volume 1. A very, very sincere moment. I mean, we totally thought he was dead. And then we got every iteration of Groot, which is the gift that keeps on giving. But shout out to Metalcore Nerds Pod, Sean Mott himself, GC Melishevsky, as well as Danny Fandoms, and then Pixie Dust Sammy. "We Are Groot" gets me every time. 4 people sent that in. So clearly, I bet someone this whole time has been like, how are they not saying "We Are Groot"? I don't know, man. I guess we just like the funnier stuff better. That was a good one. Another shout out to Jab Frisbee. He agreed with you, Messi, that opening scene of Guardians 2. Love everything about it. It's such a good time. Then Danny Phantoms, he also said, he was your father, but he wasn't your daddy. Straight on the heartstrings, man. And then Star Wars Pod just said, no moments, just love you guys. Talking to you and us on Earth 894 and the Unqualified Heroes Pod. So thank you, Star Wars Pod. Now, for y'all, any honorable mentions you wanted to mention?
Yes, I do have an honorable mention, and I've just been holding this because it's not my top 5, but it's too funny to me. It doesn't top the Build-A-Bear moment because it's too fucking funny. But it's in the Guardians Holiday Special when towards the end of the special, Kevin Bacon is officially like captured. They're like, all right, we're gonna surprise Quill, and Kevin Bacon comes out of the present. He's kind of like, all this is going on, and Peter's like, yo, you need to like not brainwash him or whatever. So Mantis undoes the thing. Kevin Bacon's like freaking out because he's this human now in this alien planet, and so as he's freaking out, Rocket's like, relax, we're not gonna hurt you. And he goes, that's a talking raccoon. And like half a second later, Rocket goes, I'll kill you, and jumps on him. It was too freaking funny. It was like, relax, we're not gonna hurt you. That's a talking raccoon. I'll kill you. And you just see like this freaking tiny raccoon just jump and latch onto him like a cat about to kill you. It was funny as heck. I just love Rocket's one-liners.
That's a good one.
It was just the turn of events. It was just, relax, I'll kill you.
Also, good honorable mention from that too is how they're like talking to him. They realize he's an actor. Like, you're an actor? Oh my god, ew! You are the worst ever. Like, you're not Batman. You didn't save.
That was
like,
good.
oh, it's so funny. And then also when Quill is like, you are literally doing human trafficking. You kidnapped this man. Like it's
and
like,
Drax is like, yes, because he
like,
doesn't
yeah.
understand. So as soon as Peter says that, he's like, yes.
It's like, that's exactly what we did. He's like, no. Oh, it's so funny. And I think you see even Groot is like, yeah. And he's like, oh no. In the background, you see him like quickly shake his head like, uh-oh, we messed up. Good signs, man. Good signs.
In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Ego takes Drax, Gamora, Peter, and I believe Mantis into that room with the eggs. And he's showing like what happens and everything. And then Drax goes, do you have a penis? And Peter's like, whoa, that's my dad. And he goes, what? My dad told me the story of how they made love every winter solstice. It was beautiful. And he goes, yeah, Drax, I got a penis.
Oh, I forgot about that one. How about you, Messi? Do you have any honorable mentions?
It's not quote unquote like a scene or anything like that. What is a scene? But it's the moment when they first meet the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy on Titans, when on that ship, when before they go to that whole scene of who's Gamora part. Is I don't know if you guys noticed that Star-Lord stopped all three of them in a matter of seconds. Like he stopped Doctor Strange, he stopped Spider-Man, and he stopped Iron Man, and within seconds. So I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think Star-Lord is one of the best fighters or whatever you want to call it of the whole MCU.
Whoa, that's
Like,
it.
he stopped one of the best, quote unquote, best fighters on the whole MCU in seconds with just gadgets. I don't know if you guys remember that scene, but
I do remember.
I think it's a pretty cool scene. He literally stopped all three of them.
He shut down Stark's suit with something, right?
Yep, with
like something
like
Yeah.
a
electrical
magnet.
thing.
Yeah.
And then how did he stop Strange and Spider-Man? I'm forgetting.
He saw Spider-Man with a long ass cable thing, and he wrapped him up.
Right.
Yeah,
And
he
I
was like
think-
tangled.
And he did Doctor Strange with he hit Doctor Strange, like he knocked him out. Not actually knock him out because he was obviously like 2 seconds he was up, but he hit him with something and he was not fighting him back.
Interesting.
That whole scene was pretty
Interesting.
cool.
Well, it had to be, he had to have stopped Spider-Man because Spider-Man's the one he had the gun to when the whole who is Gamora,
Yeah.
why is Gamora
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's good. Do
It's
you have
also-
any, Devin? Because I do have one more that I want to share.
I got two quick ones, but also in that sequence too, Messi. I always laugh when he's like, what God do you serve? He's like, what am I supposed to say? Jesus? He goes,
Jesus.
He's like, oh, you're from Earth. He goes, no, I'm from Missouri. It's like, yeah, that's Earth, dipshit. Because I'm dipshit. It's like, I love him just say dipshit.
Not
Such a
from
good
Earth.
one.
I'm from Missouri. Yeah, that's on Earth, dipshit.
Is Footloose still the greatest movie ever? Never was.
We never was.
I got one more pop culture reference from you, kid. What was it? So my two honorable mentions, of course, when Groot and Rocket land in Infinity War with Thor and he goes, bring me Thanos, fucking gets me amped every time. It's so metal. But also when Bucky is holding Rocket in the circle and he's doing the shooting, he's like, yeah, get some. And he's like, how much for the arm? Like, I'm gonna get that arm. I love it. But this one I rediscovered today and it cracked me up. And I thought you were gonna actually say this is your number one at first, Danny, because you mentioned Endgame. So when they're putting the nano gauntlet, they finally have all the Infinity Stones and they're putting it on there and they're like carefully watching, so nervous. And then you see Rocket just go like on the right side of Iron Man, just goes, boo, and like scares them all. And they look so pissed. And he's like, it's just like that low little giggle, like, like yeah, I fucking got him. It's so funny. It's like, yeah, this is pretty fucking important. It's a tense scene, but he's just like, no. He's kind of like that guy who you can tell, like, he can't stand when there's tension or like when it's too serious. He has to say something, even if it's stupid and people are gonna get mad. He has to just break it. And 9 out of 10 times it usually works. So at least as a viewer standpoint. So those are my two honorable mentions. What you got, Lou?
So we mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Infinity War, Endgame, the holiday special. But I was a big fan of Baby Groot when he was taking a bath in the I Am Groot show.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And he came out in like a big dress and he was like, ooh. There was no words or anything, but I mean, that was enjoyable. My son, he's 3, so he really liked the I Am Groot shorts. So I did want to mention the fact that those exist.
I
I
still love
totally
when
forgot.
yeah, I still love that too when he's doing the bath and he has this little like Groot spot, but he just like gets comfy in a little pit and all of a sudden he just goes, I am Groot! It just like screams it. It's like so funny because he's like, you think he'd be like, but no, he's just like, yeah! It just kills me every time. It's just so funny. Good.
I'm super surprised. Nobody mentioned, I mean, you brought up the beginning, but no one mentioned Rocket getting Bucky's arm as either an honorable
that was on my
mention or a
list.
top moment.
I have that on my list.
I think that's a good moment to just see. I mean, I remember first seeing, I was like, they did the thing. But
we'll see where that goes. Cool. May 4th.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, he's building it. He's building it.
Dude, you blew my mind with that whole prediction.
He's not building a freaking thing.
Hey, I could be wrong.
Messi's convinced on that.
I could be wrong, but
I'll drink a little bit of that Kool-Aid. You got me convinced. I'll hype on that train.
Drinking the Kool-Aid?
I love a dumb theory.
Devin will drink any Kool-Aid.
Have you guys heard the Wang the Conqueror theory?
And we are done here.
I mainly did this to piss Louis off. So, quick TLDR version of this theory that good old Tom Sides from the Two Sides of the Story podcast made my fucking life better because he brought this idea onto our whack ass podcast. Was Wong potentially could be a Kang variant. And we talked about him being Wang the Conqueror because Kang and Wong, what do you get? You get a Wang. Wang's out for Kang. So the whole idea is that there's got to be some iteration where Kang was a Sorcerer Supreme. He could be a Skrull. He could be anything. But also, just because Wong was in everything and just how ever-present Kang is, that's where we thought of Wong could potentially be a Kang variant. And that's why we came up with Wang the Conqueror. And it gets dumber by the minute, but it is one of the best awful theories ever. Just
now, that is a good, terrible theory.
At this moment, Benedict Wong can be recast as Kang the Conqueror. So
there's a chance. There's a chance my theory and Tom's theory could eventually come true. And if it does, oh man, I will never let any hater who said otherwise live it down.
Live that down.
Oh, never. Just with capes.
Thor's still the only one that wears a cape. They all wear Thor's cape.
Oh man, awesome. Well, before we hot out, definitely want to give you guys major props for coming on and hanging out with us on the podcast and everything. But I want to hear before we talk about just any thoughts and everything. I want to hear just a little bit of a quick theory from you guys, Louis included. What is your big prediction for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? If anything's going to happen, what do you feel willing to put money down right now to say this is going to happen? Who's brave enough to go first? It sure as hell ain't me.
I don't know what's going to happen, man. I only know about the Funko Pops because I'm addicted to Funko Pops. We see a baby Rocket. So I've heard that it's going to be like a Rocket origin story kind of deal. And we've been talking this whole time about how hilarious Rocket is. And I feel like in this movie, he's going to be not as hilarious. It's going to be pretty sad. Dave Bautista, one of my favorite wrestlers, he does not want to continue on playing Drax the Destroyer. So he might go on and be with his wife and kids wherever they may be, whichever plane they're on, i.e. He's gonna die. Adam Warlock is going to be fucking awesome. I don't know where that's going to fit in, but they're going to be with the Annulax battery people. Yeah, I thought Adam Warlock was going to be the bad guy until Devin, you told me otherwise. I feel like he's going to be like an antagonist kind of like a Namor. He's going to be like an antagonist that ends up being a good guy. But I also have no idea what's going to happen in this movie. So I don't really have a big prediction, but I like the whole Rockets building a robot man out of other people's arms and shit.
It's building a Gundam.
We need.
I'll say my prediction. I think they all, Toy Story 3 when they're all about to go into that furnace. I'm seeing Toy Story 3 vibes with this Guardians movie, and they all go into the light all together.
I don't think they're all gonna die. I think majority of the people, probably Rocket's gonna go bye. Hopefully not. Drax for sure, because Dave Bautista himself already talked about it. He's done with anything after this movie. I don't think they're gonna kill Kimura off again, because they already did that. I don't see why they would do that again. But honestly, I have no other than the robot one. I have literally no predictions, because I'm trying to be like Louis.
The robot one can still be your prediction, because
that's my prediction.
We'll give you credit for that one. You brought it up. Yeah. You called it master dibs on that one.
Yeah, but I'm trying to be like Louis. I'm trying to stay away from trailers, from anything. Since I think Spider-Man, I don't remember what movie before they started doing a lot of trailers, a lot of TV spots, and like basically giving the whole movie away. Up to Thor, Love and Thunder, I stopped watching TV spots because they're giving the whole movie away. So I'm trying to stay away and know as little as possible before I walk into the theater. I know it's gonna be sad. That's one of the major theories of whatever is going around. That's gonna be a sad movie. But I can't wait. I can't wait for May 4th.
It's gonna be a good time, man. As a Star Wars fan, I'm gonna be a little conflicted. I'm watching a Marvel movie on. Well, we go the day early because good luck not getting something spoiled for you unless you go for the first possible screening. But so I will. My theory is that Rocket will not die, but he will not return. I think he's gonna get his happily ever after with whatever that might be. I think he's gonna get a send off because I feel like just killing him was too obvious with how much they're really leaning into the marketing and the posters and everything on this guy.
Yeah.
I think it'd just be too obvious. And I don't think Gunn would do that. He usually tries to do a little bit of like some tricks and some surprises here and there. So that'd be my guess. But 100% I think Drax is going to die.
So what's a happily ever after for Rocket?
I think he finally goes off with Groot and they just stop trying to save the galaxy. They just want to try and be chill. Slave to like their anxieties and anything. Like, I don't know if Lou, you want to take your headphones off for a quick second here because it's something that's referenced in the trailer. So I'll give you a warning. All right, Louis is out of the picture. But if you've seen the trailer, I apologize if you haven't. So skip ahead. But when he sees the little otter companion, which it's like his little like
his wife.
Yeah, wife or love or whatever. I think that's going to be the reunite piece that's going to allow him to finally be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to lose this ever again. You guys taught me what family is. It's time for me to finally start my own. Like, it'll kill me. I'll be out there with Yondu. So that's my prediction. I don't think he's going to die.
That's a good one.
But I will 100% cry and probably buy whatever popcorn bucket they come up with from AMC.
They came out with, for Cinemark ones, they already came out with them. I don't know about AMC.
Oh yeah, they
show it?
Yeah, for Cinemark they did. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not Rocket, Groot. Like the handle of the
Groot
bucket is
like
Groot holding the bucket, and the whole tree. I mean, the whole tree. Wait, the whole bucket is covered in tree vines.
Ooh.
It's a pretty cool. But there's actually two. That's one, and the other one is like a metal one with like a.
It's like a metal tin. That's just all
them cast. The whole cast is there.
Oh, good God!
Someone got too excited.
You don't know what that sounded like on our end. Sounds like the bell just tolled. Actually, I kind of like that now.
It was it was the spring on my this thing. I apologize.
No, you're good. We're talking about popcorn buckets.
Yes. I haven't bought one yet.
Surprisingly, I caved with the Ant-Man one. I bought it, and I am not sure if I really should have, but I thought it was cool. I wish I got the Doctor Strange one. That was sick.
Which Ant-Man one did you get?
I got the actual Ant-Man helmet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just didn't they didn't do a good job with the molding because it's not like it's basically like somewhat like cast in half, so it's not even like fully flush. So it's like I'm gonna have to actually put in craft work in to fix a goddamn like popcorn bucket. That's what I don't like. But you do that Doctor Strange one is sick.
Is there
That
popcorn
one
in
was
it?
cool.
I regret not getting that one.
There was when I got it. This thing was mad expensive.
And it's the easiest one to fold and like store.
Yeah, because it's foldable. Everything else is not. But this thing was expensive. It was $30 by itself, and to get popcorn it's like $10 extra. So,
wow.
Oh yeah, they were taking advantage of the Doctor Strange hype.
The Wakanda Forever one was kind of cool too. Didn't they do what was it? I'm blanking. Was it?
I don't remember that one.
Was it her helmet? No.
I don't think so.
It was something cool that like lit up though. I can't remember if vibranium related her. I don't know. But our poor, Brian, who was on your podcast recently. What was it? Louis does not like Shuri. But what is it? Brian, I think it took him a year to get his Thor Love and Thunder popcorn buckets that he ordered pre-ordered before the movie.
What?
Took him like a whole year to get these buckets finally. I think they got 2. I don't know. That's insane shipping. I would have forgot I even ordered it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome, dudes. Well, thank you again for being on this podcast. It's been a great time talking about Guardians and getting us like in the mindset of getting hype and everything. But continue that hype train going. Tell the good folks where they can find your podcast and tell them a little bit about what you guys talk about. That's what it was.
Yes. So you can find me at Danny42 on Instagram. If you want to follow me, you can. Just don't be a porn star or a spammer because I somehow get those every single day. And if you don't want to follow me, you can, I noticed that one. If you don't want to follow me, you can follow this guy or our channel, which Messi will go deeper into.
Yeah, so you can follow me at Messi.17_ on Instagram. But if you don't want to follow us individually, you can follow us on Unqualified Heroes. We're almost every platform, YouTube, Spotify. We're not on Snapchat. We're not weird. We stopped using Snapchat.
That's where all the porn stars came from.
Yeah, that's literally where they are and coming from. Yeah, so it's Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to listen to our stuff as well. But again, we are super happy that you guys allowed us to be here with you guys. And again, it's an honor. And yeah, I cannot wait for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's going to be a very sad movie. As soon as I start crying, I'm going to text you guys. I'm crying, guys. But yeah, thank you guys.
Of course, dudes. I think we'll hell yeah, dudes. It's a pleasure. First of many. What was I going to say? I think we need to put in our Discord channel a like support channel. If you were a support group in there. If you guys cried
emotional support.
Exactly. We'll do it in there. We'll have meetings. Everyone says their name, talk about what affected them, and then we'll go around the room, and then we'll have some really shitty punch afterwards. Which is all virtual, so it doesn't really matter.
That's a fucking shitty punch for you, Devin.
I'll block with my cape.
Ooh.
I bought you that cape.
You did. That's why it was funny that you didn't remember Doctor Strange's cape.
Hey, man. I don't care for Doctor Strange as much.
Well, what if you did, right? So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give us a review. We like the ones that have the 5 stars the best because they are the ones that do the most for us. But if you hate us, you're more than welcome to. Make sure you check out the rest of our stuff. Earth 894 Podcast, everywhere you can find literally any podcast or social handle. We probably claimed it, unless a porn star took it or a spammer, because they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Get spammed.
They are, man. They are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you check out our lovely guests on their pod feed and everything. Show them some love and have a good time. And reach out to us with your favorite Guardians of the Galaxy moments, wherever it might land in the multiverse. This has been Earth 894. We will see you next episode. Bye. If it looks like a cape, walks like a cape, quacks like a cape, it's a cape.